Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting or just love uncovering the hidden value in the change you might have lying around, you're going to love today's video. We're diving into the fascinating world of euro coins and taking a closer look at the 20 euro cent coin from Spain, also marked with an M mint mark. How much is this coin worth today in 2025? Is it rare, and should you hang on to it? Stick around, because we're going to explore everything from its history and design to its current market value, all in this one video. Let's start with a bit of background. Spain officially adopted the euro in 1999, although euro coins and banknotes were physically introduced into circulation starting in 2002. However, many countries, including Spain, began minting euro coins a few years earlier in preparation for the transition. That's why 1999 is such an important year. It marks the beginning of euro coin production. The 20 euro cent coin is part of the standard euro series, and Spain's version features unique designs on the national side that reflect Spanish culture and identity. And of course, the M mint mark signifies that the coin was minted in Madrid, the official mint of Spain. Now let's take a closer look at the design of this beautiful coin down on the reverse side, shared by all Eurozone countries. You'll see the common 20-cent design created by Luc Louix of the Royal Belgian Mint. It includes the denomination 20 euro cent, a map of the European Union, and a series of 6 parallel lines cutting diagonally behind the number, ending in stars. But it's the obverse side, the Spanish national side, that makes this coin truly unique. The 1999 version features the portrait of King Juan Carlos I, the reigning monarch at the time, facing to the left. The inscription reads ESPA on the left side, with the M mint mark right underneath it. Surrounding the portrait are the 12 stars of the European Union, signifying unity among member countries. The design is clean, modern, and deeply symbolic of Spain's national pride and European identity at the turn of the millennium. Let's break down the specifications of the coin. Country: Spain. Year: 1999. Denomination: 20 euro cent. Mint mark: M for Madrid metal, Nordic gold, which is actually a mix of copper, aluminum, zinc, and tin. Weight: 574 grams. Diameter: 22.25 mm. Edge: smooth with 7 indentations, often called a Spanish flower shape. Thickness: 14 mm. This alloy gives the coin a warm golden tone, and the edge design makes it easy to identify by touch. A thoughtful inclusion. For visually impaired users, .so is the 1999 Spain 20 euro cent coin rare? Well, not exactly. Since Spain was preparing for a full rollout of the euro, the mintage of the 1999 coin was relatively high. Millions of these coins were produced, and they entered circulation once the euro became the official currency in 2002. However, early euro coins from 1999 to 2001 are still highly collectible because they represent the first wave of euro currency. They're also especially appealing to people trying to build complete euro year sets from each country. Now for the part you've been waiting for. How much is this coin worth today in US dollars? Let's look at some common market estimates for 2024. Circulated condition: if your coin has been used in daily transactions and shows signs of wear, it's generally worth around $205 to $260, slightly more than face value for collectors outside the Eurozone. Very fine VF to extremely fine XF coins in better shape, with strong details and minimal scratches, could be worth between $170 to $180. Uncirculated UNC or mint state: if your coin is in pristine, shiny condition, never used in circulation, it might fetch $200 to $400 on collector markets, depending on the seller and platform. Proof or BU coins from sets: if you own a proof version or one from a brilliant uncirculated mint set, the value could range from $500 to $800, especially if it's still sealed in the original packaging. Error coins: now this is where things can get interesting. Although not commonly found, if your 1999 Spain 20 euro cent has a minting error, like an off-center strike or die clash, it could be worth $100, $200 or more, Depending on the rarity of the error, if you're looking to sell your 1999 Spain 20 € coin, here are some places to consider. eBay, one of the best platforms for global exposure to Mista, or Connect, great for connecting with other collectors. Coin shows or local dealers, ideal if you want an in-person valuation. Online auction sites, you can often start low and let the market determine value. If you're buying, be sure to check if the coin is genuine, not cleaned, and preferably uncirculated if you want to add a high-quality piece to your collection. So what makes the 1999 Spanish 20 € coin special? Well, beyond its beautiful design and solid build, it represents a historic transition, the moment when Spain moved from the peseta to the euro, embracing a new economic chapter. This coin is a symbol of unity, change, and modern Europe. For that reason alone, it deserves a spot in your collection. Alright, that wraps up our deep dive into the 1999 20 € coin from Spain with the M mint mark. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting into coin collecting, this piece is a great example of early Eurozone history and remains affordable for beginners. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a new episode. Got a cool coin you'd like us to cover next? Leave a comment below. We love hearing from our fellow collectors. Next up, the 2014 20 € coin from Spain, also marked with the M mint mark, which stands for the Madrid Mint. You might be wondering, is this coin rare, is it valuable, and how much is it worth in today's market in US dollars? Well, stick around, because we've got all the answers coming your way. Let's start with a little background. Spain officially began using the euro in 2002, and since then, it has minted coins every year with unique national symbols. The 20 € coin, minted in 2014, is part of the second generation of Spain's euro coin designs. Starting in 2010, Spain updated the design of its euro coins to better reflect changes in leadership and modern design trends. By 2014, these coins were no longer brand new, but still part of the modern era of Eurozone currency. Spain continued using King Juan Carlos I's portrait until 2014, but it's also the year when King Felipe VI ascended to the throne, which makes some 2014 coins especially collectible due to the monarch transition. Now let's talk about design. The 2014 Spain 20 € coin follows the standard euro layout. The reverse side is the same across all Eurozone countries and was designed by Luc Louix. It shows the number 20, the words Eurocent, and a stylized map of Europe. This side represents unity across the European Union. The obverse side, however, is where the Spanish character shines. It features a portrait of King Juan Carlos I. Looking to the left, above his head, you'll see the name ESPA, with the M mint mark just below, the symbol of the Royal Mint in Madrid. Surrounding the portrait are 12 stars, representing the European Union. The edge of the coin has a unique Spanish flower shape, with smooth, curved indentations. This not only helps differentiate the coin by feel, but also gives it a distinct look among other coins. Let's dive into the technical specifications of the 2014 20 € coin. Country: Spain. Year: 2014. Denomination: 20 € mint mark. M for Madrid metal, Nordic gold. Weight: 574 grams. Diameter: 25 mm. Thickness: 14 mm. Edge: smooth with 7 indents. Shape: round with indented edges. This alloy gives the coin its distinct golden color, even though it contains no actual gold. It's durable, corrosion-resistant, and ideal for circulating coins. So, how rare is the 2014 Spain 20 € coin? The answer: not very rare, but still interesting to collectors, especially those building complete year sets or interested in coins minted during royal transitions. Spain minted millions of these coins in 2014, so they are considered common in circulation across the Eurozone. However, what makes them potentially more valuable is their condition, errors, and whether they're uncirculated or from a special mint set. Now let's get to the key question. What is the 2014 Spain 20 € coin worth in today's market in US dollars? Here's a breakdown based on condition and rarity. Circulated condition. If your coin has been used in everyday transactions and shows visible wear. It's worth about $125 to $150 more than face value, but still within common pricing. Very fine VF to extremely fine XF coins that are clean and show only light signs of wear might fetch between $275 to $350. Uncirculated or mint state. MS if your coin has never been in circulation and retains its original mint luster. Collectors might pay $290 to $410 USD. Brilliant uncirculated VU or proof set coins. These coins, especially if sealed in original packaging, can sell for $500 to $800 depending on the platform and demand. Error coins. Now, if your 2014 20 € coin has a minting error, like a misstrike, die crack, or off-center design, it could be worth $1,000 to even $3,000 or more, depending on how rare and dramatic the error is. If you're interested in buying or selling the 2014 20 € coin, there are several great options. Online marketplaces. Websites like eBay, Etsy, or Delcamp have listings for coins like these. Always check for seller ratings and coin condition. Coin collecting forums. Join groups on sites like Namista, Connect, or even Facebook to trade with fellow collectors. Local coin shops. Get a free appraisal or sell directly to dealers if they're looking for European coins. Coin shows. A great way to meet collectors, get expert opinions, and even find rare variants. While the 2014 Spain 20 € coin may not be a hidden fortune, it holds historical and cultural value. Especially as part of Spain's modern coinage history, that it represents a moment in time, the tail end of King Juan Carlos's reign, and the lead-up to King Felipe VI's ascension. For collectors of modern European currency, this coin is a must-have for completeness, and in top condition. It's a wonderful and affordable addition to your collection. Next up, the 1999 20 € coin from Spain, featuring the M mint mark from Madrid. This coin was part of the very first batch of euro coins minted in Spain, even before the euro officially entered circulation in 2002. So is it rare? What makes it special? And how much could it be worth in today's market in US dollars? Stick around as we unpack the history, design, and collector value of this European coin treasure. Let's set the stage. While the euro currency officially entered circulation in 2002, euro coins like this 1999 20-cent piece were already being produced in several EU countries from 1999 onwards. That's because the European Monetary Union had already established the euro as an accounting currency in 1999. And nations were preparing to fully transition by minting coins early for readiness. Spain, like several other countries, minted euro coins beginning in 1999, making this year highly collectible among euro enthusiasts. So if you have a 1999 Spain 20 € coin, you're actually holding a piece of the euro's pre-circulation history, which already makes it more interesting than most modern coins. Now let's talk about the design of this coin. The reverse side, which is common across all Eurozone 20-cent coins, was designed by Luc Louix. It features the numeral 20, the words Eurocent, and a stylized map of Europe, symbolizing unity and cooperation across EU nations. But the real magic is on the obverse or the national side of the coin. For Spain's 20-cent coin in 1999, the obverse features a dignified portrait of King Juan Carlos I, the long-reigning monarch of Spain. He is shown in profile, facing left. Just above the portrait is the word ESPA, and below it, you'll notice the M mint mark, which indicates that the coin was struck at the Royal Mint in Madrid, the real Casa de la Moneda. Surrounding the portrait and inscriptions are 12 stars, representing the European Union. The edge of the coin follows the unique Spanish flower shape, with 7 indents that distinguish it from other denominations both visually and by touch. Let's get into the technical specifications of the 1999 Spain 20 € coin. Country, Spain. Year, 1999. Mint mark, M, Madrid. Composition, Nordic gold, an alloy of copper, aluminum, zinc, and tin. Weight, 5.74 grams diameter, 22.25 mm edge. Smooth with 7 indents, Spanish flower. Shape, round with unique indented edges design theme. Portrait of King Juan Carlos I. The use of Nordic gold gives the coin its golden appearance, even though it contains no actual gold. It's extremely durable and resistant to tarnish, making it ideal for long-term circulation. Now here's where it gets interesting. 1999 was the very first year Spain began minting euro coins. Even though the currency didn't start circulating until 2002, that makes any coin from this early production phase more desirable to collectors of European currency. While the exact mintage numbers for the 1999 Spain 20-cent coin are in the tens of millions. Many of these coins were stored or used in early starter packs given to citizens in preparation for the euro launch. Over time, circulated examples became common, but uncirculated or mint state specimens have remained in high demand. So what's this coin worth today? Let's break it down based on condition and rarity in the current collector market. Circulated condition. If your 1999 20-cent coin from Spain has noticeable wear, scratches, or signs of use, its value is modest, around $25 to $50 USD, still more than face value. Fine to very fine, VF, in better shape with light wear. The coin can sell $4.075 to $125 US, especially to collectors wanting a complete date set. Extremely fine XF to about uncirculated. AU minimal wear and good luster could fetch $150 to $300 US. Uncirculated MS/BU condition, a 1999 Spain 20 euro cent coin in mint condition, never circulated and with full original luster, is more desirable. These can go for $400 to $600 US, sometimes even more if sold with original mint packaging. Proof-like or error coins. On rare occasions, coins with minting errors, off-centering, or striking anomalies can reach values of $100 to $200 plus USD, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Whether you're trying to buy or sell this coin, there are a few good options. Online auctions. Check sites like eBay, Etsy, or Delcamp where individual coins are often listed by condition and rarity. Numismatic forums. Join communities like Numista, CoinTalk, or Connect to exchange knowledge and trade coins. Local coin shops or shows. These are perfect places to get a physical appraisal or purchase well-preserved coins. Euro starter pack collectors. Some collectors look specifically for 1,999 coins as part of the Euro's pre-launch history. So there you have it, the 1999 Spain 20 euro cent coin, a fascinating piece of European numismatic history. It's more than just a coin. It represents a new financial era, royal legacy, and a shift toward unity among EU nations. And while it may not make you rich overnight, in great condition or as part of a set, it's a valuable and meaningful addition to any collection. Next up, the 2007 20 euro cent coin from Spain, complete with the iconic M mint mark from Madrid. Whether you're a numismatist, a casual collector, or just someone curious about the coins that pass through your hands, you're in the right place. We'll explore its design, production, and most importantly, how much this coin could be worth in the current market. All in $. Let's jump right in. The 2007 Spain 20 euro cent coin is part of the wider euro coin system introduced across the European Union. Spain began issuing euro coins in 1999 in preparation for the official introduction of the euro as physical currency in 2002. By 2007, euro coins were widely used across the continent, and Spain's national side of these coins had already become familiar. However, this coin still holds collector interest, particularly for those building full euro sets, looking for well-preserved examples, or searching for specific mint years like 2007. Let's talk about the design. The obverse side of the 2007 Spanish 20-cent coin proudly features a left-facing portrait of King Juan Carlos I, who was the reigning monarch of Spain at the time. Surrounding his portrait are 12 stars, symbolizing the European Union, along with the word ESPA, and the year 2007 prominently displayed. Just beside or below the date, you'll see the M mint mark, representing Madrid, where the coin was struck at the Royal Spanish Mint, known officially as the Real Casa de la Moneda. This design was used consistently on Spanish euro coins until a redesign in 2010, when new regulations required national designs to include the full 12 EU stars without interruption. The 2007 issue still carries that classic, clean look associated with Spain's original euro coinage. Flipping over to the reverse side, we find the standard Eurozone design used on all 20-cent coins. It features a large numeral 20 to indicate the denomination, accompanied by the words Eurocent. The background shows a portion of the European continent, designed by Luke Lewix, symbolizing unity among the euro-using countries. This side of the coin is the same across all EU member states. Here are the technical details every collector should know about the 2007 Spain 20 euro cent coin. Year, 2007. Country, Spain. Mint mark, M Madrid. Metal composition, Nordic gold. Weight, 5.74 grams. Diameter, 22.25 mm. Shape, round with a Spanish flower-shaped edge, 7 indents. Edge, smooth with distinct notches for the visually impaired obverse. King Juan Carlos I. Reverse, standard EU map designed by Luke Lewix. Nordic gold, despite the name, contains no real gold, but it gives the coin a bright golden hue that's durable and corrosion resistant. Perfect for everyday circulation. Now to the most important question. How much is the 2007 Spain 20 euro cent coin worth today? Its value depends largely on the coin's condition and whether it has any rare features like errors or proof quality. Here's a breakdown in US dollars. Circulated condition. If the coin has signs of wear from normal use, it usually sells for $250 to $300 US. That's a slight premium over face value, mostly for those trying to complete a euro set. Uncirculated or mint state. MS, a well-preserved coin with full luster and no signs of wear, can fetch between $200 and $400 US, especially among euro collectors or as part of a year-specific coin album. Proof or collector editions. Although 2007 proof 20-cent coins are not commonly issued to the public.
2014 Canadian penny, let's take a quick look at the history of Canada's 1-cent coin. The first Canadian penny was minted in 1858, featuring Queen Victoria on the obverse and a wreath of maple leaves on the reverse. Over the years, the design changed multiple times, with different portraits of Queen Elizabeth II appearing from 1953 onward. The reverse design of the penny, featuring 2 maple leaves on a twig, remained mostly unchanged since it was introduced in 1937 by artist G. E. Kruger Gray. For decades, the Canadian penny was a common coin used in everyday transactions. However, by the early 2000s, the cost of producing pennies began to exceed their face value due to rising metal prices and production expenses. In response, the Canadian government announced in 2012 that the penny would be discontinued. The last official pennies were minted on May 4, 2012, and by 2013, they were no longer being distributed. Businesses and banks stopped using them, and Canada officially moved away from pennies, encouraging rounding prices to the nearest 5 cents for cash transactions. This means that, officially, no 2014 Canadian pennies should exist. But what if you happen to find one? Could a 2014 Canadian penny be real? If you come across a 2014 Canadian penny, there are a few possible explanations. First, it could be a novelty item or a privately made replica. Some companies and private mints create coins with unofficial dates for educational purposes or as commemorative pieces. These fantasy coins are not legal tender and were never issued by the Royal Canadian Mint. They are often sold as collector's items, but they do not hold much numismatic value compared to official mint-issued coins. Another possibility is that a 2014 penny could be a mint error. Though highly unlikely, Mistakes sometimes happen at mints around the world, leading to coins with incorrect dates being produced. If a 2014 penny were to be found and verified as a genuine error from the Royal Canadian Mint, it would likely be an incredibly rare piece and could be worth a significant amount of money. However, no verified reports of a genuine 2014 Canadian 1-cent coin from the Royal Canadian Mint exist at this time. How to check if your 2014 penny is genuine. If you believe you have a 2014 Canadian penny, the best way to verify its authenticity is to have it examined by a professional coin grading service such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. A professional coin dealer or numismatist can also help determine whether it is a real mint-issued coin, a private mint fantasy piece, or even a well-made counterfeit. If your coin turns out to be an unofficial piece, it may still have some value as a novelty or collector's item, but it will not carry the same historical and monetary worth as an officially minted coin. What is the most valuable modern Canadian penny? Since there is no official 2014 Canadian penny, what are some of the most valuable Canadian pennies from recent years? The last official pennies produced in 2012 are considered collectible, especially in mint condition. Rolls of uncirculated 2012 pennies or special proof sets can sell for more than face value. Other valuable Canadian pennies include the 2006 No P and No Logo pennies, which were mistakenly struck without the Royal Canadian Mint's mark. These error coins can sell for hundreds of dollars in high-grade condition. Older Canadian pennies from the early 20th century, particularly the 1923 and 1925 issues, are also highly sought after by collectors. Conclusion: is a 2014 Canadian penny worth anything? In summary, there are no officially minted 2014 Canadian pennies, so if you find one, it is likely a novelty item or a fantasy piece. While it may still hold some collector's value, it is not an official legal tender coin. If you do happen to come across a 2014 Canadian penny, consider having it examined by a professional to determine its authenticity. While 2014 pennies may not exist, there are still plenty of valuable and collectible Canadian pennies from earlier years. If you have a collection of old pennies, it is always worth checking their dates and conditions to see if you might have a rare or high-value coin. Next up, the 1999 Canadian 1-cent coin, covering its history, design, rarity, and current market value. If you have one of these pennies, you might be wondering if it's worth more than just 1 cent. Stay with us until the end to find out. The history of the Canadian 1-cent coin. The Canadian penny has a long history, first introduced in 1858, when Canada was still a British colony. Over the years, its design changed several times, with different portraits of the reigning monarch appearing on the obverse. From 1937 onwards, the reverse design featured 2 maple leaves on a twig, a classic design by artist G.E. Kruger Gray. By the late 20th century, Canada's pennies were becoming increasingly expensive to produce due to rising metal costs. The government eventually decided to discontinue the penny, with the last ones minted in 2012. However, the 1999 penny remains a part of this long history and is still found in collections today. Design and composition of the 1999 Canadian penny. The 1999 Canadian 1-cent coin features the familiar 2 maple leaves on a twig on the reverse side, designed by G.E. Kruger Gray. The obverse features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which had been updated in 1990 to show a more mature depiction of the Queen, designed by artist Dora de Pedery Hunt. The 1999 penny was struck in copper-plated zinc, a composition introduced in 1997 to replace the earlier copper-plated steel and bronze varieties. This change was made to reduce production costs while maintaining the coin's traditional appearance. Mintage and rarity. The Royal Canadian Mint produced a very large number of 1-cent coins in 1999, making them relatively common. However, certain factors can make some 1999 pennies more valuable than others. These include condition. Uncirculated or high-grade examples, especially those graded MS 65 or higher, can fetch higher prices among collectors. Minting errors. Some error coins, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double strikes, can significantly increase the coin's value. Proof and special strikes, specially issued proof sets, which feature a higher quality strike with polished surfaces, are more sought after by collectors. Current market value of the 1999 Canadian 1-cent coin. In circulated condition, most 1999 Canadian pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent. However, if you have a well-preserved or uncirculated example, it could be worth more. Here's a general breakdown of its estimated value. Circulated condition, $1,000 to $1,500, uncirculated condition, MS-60 to MS-64. 1,000 to 3,000 high-grade mint state, MS-65 or higher. 2,000 to 5,000 or more. Proof versions. $5,000 to $8,000 depending on the set and condition. Error coins can vary significantly in value, with some rare mistakes fetching upwards of $6,000 or more, depending on the type of error. If you believe you have an error coin, it's best to get it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Should you keep your 1999 Canadian penny? If you have a 1999 Canadian penny, it's worth keeping if it's in excellent condition or if you suspect it might have an error. While most 1999 pennies are common, they still hold historical significance as part of Canada's long-running 1-cent coin series. Additionally, as time goes on and fewer pennies remain in circulation, their value may increase. Conclusion. The 1999 Canadian 1-cent coin is not considered rare, but in uncirculated condition or with an error, it could be worth more than face value. If you're a collector, it's always a good idea to check your coins for minting errors or high-grade examples that could be more valuable. Next up, the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin. While pennies may not be in circulation anymore, some of them can be worth more than just 1 cent. So if you have a 2007 Canadian penny, stay with us until the end to find out if it has any special value. The history of the Canadian 1-cent coin. The Canadian 1-cent coin has been an important part of Canada's currency since 1858. Over the years, it has undergone several design changes, but the most well-known version features 2 maple leaves on a twig. This design, created by G.E. Kruger Gray, remained on the penny from 1937 until the last Canadian penny was minted in 2012. By 2007, Canada had already begun discussions about discontinuing the penny due to its increasing production cost. Even though the coin had a face value of 1 cent, it cost more to produce than it was worth. However, the 2007 penny remains a part of this long history and is still found in collections today. Design and composition of the 2007 Canadian penny. The 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin features the classic maple leaves on a twig on the reverse, designed by G.E. Kruger Gray. The obverse displays a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Susanna Blunt, which had been introduced in 2003. This portrait is unique because it does not include a crown, unlike previous designs of the Queen on Canadian coins. By 2007, the composition of the penny had changed significantly. Instead of being made of copper, as earlier pennies were, the 2007 version was made of copper-plated steel. This was done to reduce production costs while still keeping the coin's familiar appearance. Mintage and rarity. The Royal Canadian Mint produced millions of pennies in 2007, making them quite common. However, some versions of the 2007 penny can be worth more due to certain factors. Condition. Uncirculated or high-grade examples, MS-65 and above, can fetch higher prices among collectors. Minting errors. Some 2007 pennies may have errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling, which can make them more valuable. Proof versions, special proof coins, which were made for collectors, have a shinier and more detailed finish, and can be worth more. Current market value of the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin. Most 2007 Canadian pennies are still only worth their face value of 1 cent, but certain conditions and errors can increase their value. Here's a general breakdown of its estimated worth. Circulated condition, $80 to $150. Uncirculated condition, MS-60 to MS-64. $150 to $200. High-grade mint state, MS-65 or higher. $200 to $300. Proof versions, $400 to $700 error coins. Depending on the type of error, rare mistakes can be worth $500 or more. If you think you have an error coin or a high-grade example, you might want to get it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Should you keep your 2007 Canadian penny? If you come across a 2007 Canadian penny, it's a good idea to check its condition and look for any unusual features. While most of these coins are common, a well-preserved or error version could be worth holding on to. Additionally, as time passes and fewer pennies remain in circulation, their value may increase. Conclusion. The 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin may not be extremely rare, but it's still an interesting part of Canada's numismatic history. If you have one in uncirculated condition or with a minting error, it could be worth more than just 1 cent. Always take the time to check your coins carefully. You never know when you might have a hidden treasure in your collection. Next up, the 2002 Canadian 1-cent coin. We'll explore its history, design, mintage, possible errors, and current market value. Stay with us until the end to find out if your 2002 penny is a valuable collector's item. History of the Canadian 1-cent coin. The Canadian penny has a long and fascinating history, dating back to its first issue in 1858. Over the years, the design and composition of the penny have changed several times, but the most iconic design, featuring 2 maple leaves on a twig, was introduced in 1937. By the early 2000s, the Royal Canadian Mint had made several adjustments to the penny's composition to reduce production costs. The 2002 Canadian penny was struck at a time when the Mint had already switched to copper-plated zinc for regular circulation pennies, making them lighter than earlier versions. Design and composition of the 2002 Canadian penny like previous years. The 2002 Canadian 1-cent coin features a classic design, obverse, front, a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Dora de Pettery Hunt. This portrait, introduced in 1990, shows the Queen wearing a crown. Reverse, back. The famous 2 maple leaves on a twig, designed by G.E. Kruger Gray, which has been used since 1937. Composition. The 2002 penny was primarily made of copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.25 grams with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. One interesting feature of the 2002 penny is that it was one of the last years before the Mint transitioned entirely to copper-plated steel in 2000 for some issues. However, zinc and steel versions of the penny circulated simultaneously, which is why some variations exist. Mintage and rarity. The Royal Canadian Mint produced 716,300,000 pennies in 2002, making them relatively common. However, certain factors can increase their value. High-grade coins, pennies in mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, are harder to find and more valuable. Minting errors. Some 2002 pennies may have errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, which can significantly increase their worth. Proof-like and specimen versions. The Royal Canadian Mint also released proof-like and specimen sets containing 2002 pennies, which are worth more than regular circulated coins. Current market value of the 2002 Canadian 1-cent coin. Most 2002 Canadian pennies found in circulation are still worth their face value, but well-preserved and rare varieties can sell for higher prices. Circulated condition, $100 to $300, uncirculated condition, MS60 to MS64, $100 to $200, high-grade mint state, MS65 or higher, $200 to $500 or more, proof and specimen coins, $500 to $800, depending on condition and demand. If you suspect your 2002 penny has a mint error, it's a good idea to have it examined by a professional grading service, as some error coins have sold for $500 or more in auctions. Should you keep your 2002 Canadian penny? While the 2002 penny is still relatively common, finding one in pristine condition or with a rare error can make it valuable to collectors. Since Canada officially stopped producing pennies in 2012, many older pennies are gradually becoming more sought after. It's always worth checking your collection to see if you have a high-grade or rare variant. Conclusion. The 2002 Canadian 1-cent coin may not seem valuable at first glance, but in the right condition, it can be worth more than just 1 cent. If you have a 2002 penny, check its condition and keep an eye out for minting errors. Next up, the 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin. You might have one in your pocket change, but did you know that some versions of this coin can be worth more than a single cent? Stay with us as we discuss its history, design, mintage, possible errors, and current market value. Let's find out if your 2006 penny is a valuable collector's item. History of the Canadian 1-cent coin. The Canadian penny has been a staple of the country's currency since 1858. The famous maple leaf design has been in circulation since 1937, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in Canada. The 2006 penny was minted during the final years of penny production before Canada officially stopped issuing them in 2012 due to rising production costs. The 2006 penny is particularly interesting because it was struck in two different compositions, copper-plated zinc and copper-plated steel. This means that there are slight variations and some versions are rarer than others. Design and composition of the 2006 Canadian penny. The 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin follows the traditional design seen in most pennies from previous decades. Obverse, front. A portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Susanna Blunt. This version of the Queen's portrait, introduced in 2003, does not include a crown, making it unique from earlier designs. Reverse, back, the iconic maple leaves on a twig, designed by G.E. Kruger Gray, which has been used on Canadian pennies since 1937. Composition, copper-plated zinc version, weighs 2.25 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Copper-plated steel version, slightly different in weight and magnetic due to its steel core. Because of these two different compositions, some 2006 pennies will be non-magnetic, zinc, while others will be magnetic, steel. Mintage and rarity. The Royal Canadian Mint produced 1,256,403,000 pennies in 2006, making it a very common coin. However, some versions of this penny are more desirable than others. Magnetic versus non-magnetic. The magnetic steel version is more common, while the non-magnetic zinc version is scarcer and sought after by collectors. Proof and specimen coins. The Royal Canadian Mint also released proof and specimen sets in 2006, which contain higher quality coins meant for collectors. These versions are more valuable than regular circulation coins. Minting errors. Some 2006 pennies have errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and doubling, which can significantly increase their worth. Current market value of the 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin. Most 2006 Canadian pennies found in circulation are still worth face value, but certain factors can make them more valuable. Circulated condition: $100 to $200, uncirculated condition, MS-60 to MS-64. $90 to $160, high-grade mint state, MS-65 or higher. $200 to $400 or more. Proof and specimen coins: $500 to $700 depending on condition and demand. Rare errors and variants: some 2006 pennies with notable errors have sold for $1,000 or more at auctions. If you want to check whether your 2006 penny is rare, try using a magnet. If your coin does not stick to the magnet, it is a non-magnetic zinc version, which could be more valuable to collectors. Should you keep your 2006 Canadian penny? Although the 2006 penny is common, finding one in pristine condition or with a rare error could make it valuable. Since Canada stopped producing pennies in 2012, these coins are becoming harder to find, and collectors are starting to take an interest in them. If you have a 2006 penny, it might be worth holding on to it, especially if it's in mint condition or a rare variant. Conclusion: the 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin might seem like just another penny, but it holds some hidden value depending on its condition, composition, and possible mint errors. Checking your change for non-magnetic zinc versions or error coins could lead to an exciting discovery. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on rare and valuable coins. Let us know in the comments if you found any interesting Canadian pennies in your collection. Happy collecting!